everybody, it's Lon.TV, and it's time for your weekly wrap-up. I hope you all had a great week. I sure did. I had a whole bunch of cool stuff to play with, and I got even more stuff. On Friday, I got a new television. So this was the excuse I gave to my wife, was that I'm getting more and more 4K equipment in to test on the channel, and I had no 4K display to test them on. B&H had a good price on this 60-inch LG set. This is their UF8500 series, and it's running WebOS 2.0, which is the same operating system that used to be on the Palm Pre and the HP touchpad. It's now made its way over to LG, and it's powering their television. It's actually a pretty nice interface. So I'm going to do a review of this in the days ahead. It was I looked around at a couple of different sets. I looked at a lot of the experts online who really focus on the details on these televisions, and this one was fairly well reviewed. It's not perfect. It is an IPS display, and there is some backlight bleed through. I'm going to talk about all of that in my review, but I have to say I'm probably about 85% happy with it, which for me is pretty good. It's not quite a OLED display that we're going to be seeing more and more of in the coming months and years ahead, but right now this seemed to be the better price point for me. It's about $1,800. To go up to something similar in an OLED, if they even had one at this size, was going to be significantly more expensive. So I'll use this one for a couple of years, and then I'll put it up on my my store of used gadgets. Maybe somebody will pick it up after that. We also have a new kit from Sennheiser to take a look at this week. This is their Evolution Wireless, and what this is a very simplified process of getting a wireless microphone to work. If you've ever used wireless mic systems before, you might test them in your little workbench area, and then when you actually take them out into the field and use them, they suddenly stop working because of interference and everything else. These are designed to keep a very pristine sound going from the transmitter pack back to the base without having to think about it. So wherever you are, it's going to find a frequency that works, and if it needs to switch, it'll do so automatically. So I'm really looking forward to checking this out. This is the model that they have with the base units. This is not quite a field kit, but they will have a on-camera version coming out very shortly. But I'm eager to try this out, and the reason is because I'm going to review that television in my game room next door, and I don't want to really be bogged down by a wire if I want to get up and show some things. And I'm also going to be installing this Ecobee that I got today. This is that device that we looked at over at the Pepcom short hit thing that I did a couple of weeks ago, and it finally is out. This is Homekit compatible, so you can go onto your phone on your iPhone and say, hey Siri, make it 65 degrees in the house, and it should do it for you. So we're going to put this thing through its paces, starting with its installation, and that will be also shot in another room of my house where I'm going to be setting this thing up. So we will see if I'm able to get this thing to work without too much difficulty. You all know I'm not very handy, but they say even somebody like me can get this thing installed and working. So we're going to take a look and see how I fare there. And then on Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, I'm going to be interviewing one of the creators behind this new game console that I have up on the screen there. This is called the Retro VGS, and if it looks like an Atari Jaguar, that's no accident. In fact, they bought the original molds to the Jaguar and are making a new game console from them. And what's unique about this is that it's a cartridge-based system, so it's not going to rely on downloads. You're going to be buying physical cartridges again. And they're trying to kind of bring back this old school gaming where you would actually buy a game and have it on a cartridge, and the device does not need to be on the internet to work. So all of these games are going to be physical releases, and they're approaching this the right way. So I think, we've seen attempts at competing game consoles in the past. People had really tried to go up against the big guys and gals in the marketplace like Sony and Microsoft, but what they're doing is actually shooting at a much more niche audience, and they've really structured their business model around a very short production run. So for indie developers that might have a really cool game, they could go out and maybe make only 50 cartridges or so and sell them through their store, as opposed to having to invest tens of thousands or millions of dollars into producing a lot of cartridges. So I think they've got the right approach to this. They're going to do a Kickstarter with it, and we're going to talk to them and find out exactly what's going to make this thing tick. It's going to support, really retro kind of games, running on old 8 and 16-bit kind of code, but it's also got a more modern ARM processor inside too. So a lot of the more modern games that we're seeing popping up on mobile platforms will likely work here too. But they're really trying to do this right, and I think we really want to. We'll hear from them this week. I think it's going to be a really interesting interview. So that is coming up Wednesday at 7 p.m. I'm going to try to go live with that one. I'll send out an email if you're on the email list and let you know all about that. But it should definitely be 7 p.m. On the YouTube channel here on Wednesday. That's July 10th, I believe. So be on the lookout for that. And if we get some time this week, we're going to take a look at my latest retro acquisition. This is the Nintendo Virtual Boy. I've been slowly collecting all of these retro consoles that I didn't own back in the day. Now, this one came out 20 years ago in August of 1995. I rented it once for the weekend from Blockbuster when I was in college. My college roommates and I, we all were playing with it all weekend, and then I decided it was, kind of neat, but really not worth giving up our savings for the Sony PlayStation that we were hoping to get later on that fall. So it, kind of fell off the wayside for everybody. In fact, the product was a pretty big flop for Nintendo, which is unusual. Even like some of their hardware that struggles eventually kind of finds a foothold in the marketplace, like the Wii U is finding now. But this one really just totally flopped. But it's kind of neat. I mean, if you think about the limitations of technology back then, this is a mass market product that really went up to those limits as best it could to try to create this 3D environment for video games. So it's a weird display. It's all red. It is 3D. It's got two separate displays in it that have a really neat technology behind it. So I'll probably do a little retrospective on it and also show you exactly how it works. It's going to be hard to kind of show it on camera, but I do have an emulator for my Mac here, so I should be able to show you what some of the games look like. Kind of a neat system. It is 32-bit, but it only has one color, and that's red. So pretty cool stuff. So we'll take a look at that later on in the week. Now, if you want to help the channel, you can go to Lon.TV/Patreon, which is my subscription-based service that I use if you want to contribute to the channel on a monthly basis. I also have fan funding set up at YouTube, and you can find that at Lon.TV if you want to make a one-time contribution to the channel. I use those funds to help offset the cost of things that I buy and review on the channel and then resell. So a great example was that a Nikon P900 camera that I took a big shot of the moon with over the weekend. That was something I purchased. I'm going to be reselling it, probably lose a little bit of money on there, so that fund helps to buffer my losses a little bit on those items that I purchase and then resell. So pretty cool stuff there. And also, I forgot to mention this in wrap-ups past, I also have an Amazon affiliate link. I usually put that in the description on most of the videos that I do, but if you're on a mobile device, you may not see those. So you can go over to Lon.TV/Amazon, and that will take you into my Amazon review page. But anything you buy on Amazon after hitting that link will be something that will come back and help the channel with affiliate links. So the stuff won't cost more, but they'll give me a little cut of whatever you buy. So that is how that works. And if you want to connect with the channel, you sure can. You can go to Lon.TV/email to get on my email list. I'll probably be pushing out an email tonight to talk about Wednesday's live stream. I also have a Facebook page at Lon.TV/Facebook. I post all sorts of cool stuff there, even beyond things that I reviewed as things that I find interesting throughout the week. So you can check that out. And I'm still trying to get people onto my forums. I guess it's going to take some time for us to kind of find things to talk about. What I might start doing is, I know people sometimes email me directly and ask me questions. I might start nudging people over to the forums to ask the questions. I'm more than happy to interact there anyhow, but I really want to start pushing people over to that platform because it'd be a nice place that we can all gather and chat about stuff, and I'd really like to see it grow more. So Lon.TV/forums for there. So I've got a lot of work to do this week. I will try my best to get it all in. I'm looking forward to that interview with the retro VGS console because I think it's a really neat idea, and I think they're approaching it very realistically. So we'll talk to them a little bit more and find out exactly what that thing's going to be all about, and of course, lots of good reviews to come. This is Lon Seidman. Thank you as always for your viewership. I know that I talk about the Patreon and the fan funding and the Amazon page, but really the most important thing for helping this channel grow is just your viewership. That's the most important component. If you can do more, great, but if you can't, that's fine too. I just want to let you all know that I really do appreciate everything you're doing to help me grow this thing. I'm having such a fun time with it, and I would not be seeing this growth if it wasn't for all of you helping out just by watching what I do. So thanks again. This is Lon Seidman, and we'll see you next week.